Okay, so OM are running Yamato, Kremlin, Double Des Moines, Salem, Moskva, Gearing, Daring, Grozovoy. I believe that's the first Grozovoy I've seen this tournament as
Oh,
well.
I've seen a couple actually. I can't really say that I've seen them pull any miracles, but me and Stats in the previous 2 weekends, we actually seen a couple of them.
Well, with French destroyers being banned, Soviet destroyers are the next fastest, so using a Groz as a sort of pseudo Marceau to grab a cap early on might be what they're planning. And Shaft are running double Kremlin, Des Moines, Napoli, double Moskva, Stalingrad, Gearing, Daring. So we're seeing a much heavier team on Shaft's side.
Yeah, I mean, Grozovoy has a heal, a decent HP pool. Not the fastest firing guns and not definitely the fastest firing torpedoes, nor the longest range. But the guns have very fast shell velocity
Yeah,
and
she's
and
she's a
long
good
range.
all-rounder. She's a good all-rounder. There's nothing that she does particularly badly.
She does, unfortunately, eat a lot of damage when she gets hit.
Yes,
And
she's big.
yeah. So from OM we have Moskva and Grozovoy going to the right side to A, and Grozovoy's probably gonna go for the cap, and Moskva gonna stay, I would believe, E4 island, probably.
Yeah,
Daring seems to be going for the middle cap, and pretty much everybody else besides Yama is gonna be focusing on 9, 10, and 7, 8 line.
yeah. It looks like we're going to see a smoke Gearing leading the two Des Moines of OM with a Kremlin in support to the 9-10 line. They look like they're going to be matched by double Moskva, Starling, Kremlin. So that might be difficult for the Des Moines to make much of an impact with 3 Soviet radars.
It seems like we're gonna have a big fight on C. Shaft is deploying Stalingrad, Moskva, Kremlin, Daring, Moskva, and potentially other Kremlin as well. All... sorry, did I say C? I mean D. I keep thinking it's a 3 cap.
Yes, there's a new format of this map for King of the Sea.
Yeah. So you don't have to have ships suiciding in E, F, 3, and 4. They get basically a free cap as long as you send a ship there. That can slowly start generating some points after a couple of minutes. And you have to fight for C and D, which are relatively close.
Yeah, it looks like Shaft are intending to win the fight at sea since they're smoking a Des Moines right up there with Flo and Zill. This could be quite risky for Zill's Des Moines if he gets spotted, though there doesn't appear to be any radar to match him. But it will mean that Viper Metcalf's Daring will be a lot less willing to take C because he knows something's probably in that smoke.
Yeah.
Because DDs at this level don't smoke for no reason.
Yeah, and Nevsky is banned, and they banned him themselves, so Des Moines is the next thing you should expect in a smokescreen if there's no minos in the game. He just has to be careful to not get torpedoed. However, he can't really afford to stay where he is for too long, because R2 Dude 2, which is a great name by the way, in his Moskva is probably going to be soon starting to go south towards like D4 behind the island, and will probably be in radar range.
He won't be. Where Zill is sitting now, if we think where R2 is going to go to, he will not be in radar range. He'll be close, but not in range. Oh, Flo, is he going to take a torp?
I think he made a bad
Yes, he
call.
does.
He made a bad call. Like, this is the thing as a destroyer that you have to make up your mind when you're sitting sideways and there's torpedoes coming. It's a split-second decision, and you absolutely have to do one thing. Whether it's a right or a wrong call, you have to stick through it, and at least we can give him props for not changing his mind. You have to make a decision. Do you back off, which is a slower thing to do, and try to ease in between the torps, which I think would have saved him here not eating torpedoes? Or do you go for the fast acceleration forward and try to turn your ship to dodge the torpedoes that way and get away from them? The benefit,
Yes.
the benefit of going forward is you are faster, but the problem is he was going, I believe, slightly in reverse when torpedoes were detected. So you lose like that 1 or 2 seconds before you can actually start properly accelerating. So I think if he went backwards, he could have been fine. But the worst thing you can do is, like, hesitate.
So Shaft on the 10 line, and I mean the 10 line, have taken up an unusual positioning. They're using the one island on the 10 line to shield themselves from the two Des Moines of OM, and are making their push with a Kremlin and double Moskva, with a Stalin giving a bit of crossfire.
I don't think I've ever seen a strategy like this before.
No,
we have
absolutely.
6 ships on 10 line within 5 minutes of this match. I think this has got to be the first time I've seen this.
Yeah, well, with how the teams spawn, they gravitate towards the sort of 7 to 10 line areas of the map, because going to the other flank takes so long, while both teams have deployed minimal ships to the 1 to 4 line.
Good smack from Kremlin on Das Hauptziele in his Des Moines. And, it's working.
Yep, yeah, 2 Kremlins.
Really crazy strategy is actually working. For now, we'll see how much these 3 ships can sustain where they are, because they're going to be now spammed from a couple of directions. However, I'm curious, if that Salem gets focused, how long can he stay alive? But this is a lot of ships that OM has here. They are smashing this one Des Moines really, really quickly. And there he goes.
Das Hauptziele goes down.
Really good start from Shaft here, actually. Very unconventional mind thinking, but it works.
It's unconventional positioning, but this is your classic Iron Curtain. You take a bunch of the heavy Soviet ships on a flank and you just go. And against a lighter team, predominantly made up of US cruisers like Des Moines and such, they need time to do their damage, and if you just go at them, you don't give them that time.
Kremlin is about to take a torp. I don't know if he's going to have a Democon ready.
Yeah, takes the torp. It's a Kremlin. He's got decent torpedo protection. He's got to run the guns of the Kremlin more than anything.
Yeah, he did Democon, and he's healing. But now I'm thinking, and they're already doing it. I was about to say, like, I would not be chasing anymore. I'd just go and kill the Salem, take the cap.
Yeah.
And even if you lose the Kremlin, it's 2 for 1, and you got a cap. That's gotta be worth it. And these 2 Moskvas, if they can, they're full HP. And if they can back out, they're
daring
good.
Single line torps on Salem, 1 hit. He's got a maneuver
Salem
to avoid.
Is gone.
Yeah.
There is nothing he can do.
It's times like this you want to be listening in on a team's communications as the Salem realizes what's about to happen to him, and you just end up hearing yelling.
I honestly think that this Salem, considering we're talking about an experienced team and good players, I think this Salem knew he was about to die when he saw those guys pushing successfully on 10 line, because he had no way out. There's a Kremlin in D, there's a Stalin there in order, if he wants to go forward, and there's 2 Moskvas and a Kremlin in front of him, plus a daring lurking somewhere. It's 6 ships. You're stuck contesting a cap in a cruiser with no smoke, no help.
So on the 1 line, the Grozovoy of OM has pushed all the way down to the H line and has taken half the Napoli's health with a torpedo run. From Napoli can't run Hydro, so he's just sort of here waiting to try and dodge torpedoes, and maybe get lucky if the Groz gets a bit too greedy. But he's just there to delay the Groz from doing anything. R2, Dude2 and Zil exchanging fire over the sea cap, but not a lot is happening. The main thing now is that Shaft were able to kill 2 enemy cruisers and take D for no losses at the moment, and have done significant damage to OM's equivalent flank force.
Yeah, Shaft is doing a really good job so far, and daring, deploying that smokescreen curtain to keep the Moskvas even safer than they already are, rendering second Des Moines a little bit useless for the time. What's really amazing about this is that this Kremlin made it out alive. In front of 2 Des Moines, gearing Kremlin and Salem, he made it out alive. This is such a major win for Shaft, it's incredible. They took away a cap from OM. They did it on the side where OM had the most amount of ships. They managed to sink 2 in the process without losing a single one of their own. So far, Shaft is really playing really, really well.
Absolutely, with about a 200-point lead, and OM lacking a lot of firepower to make a play that they will inevitably have to make. A lot of their hope now probably rests on their destroyers getting lucky with torpedoes.
Yeah, and I think that's the weakest link of Shaft right now. Instead of having a ship, for example, that... Oh my god, is he gonna... Oh, that is...
Good dodge by the Napoli.
Damn, that dodge was just... If they had a cruiser with a... I believe Hydro is not something Napoli has.
Nope. Oh, Shaft daring just dodges a torp. That was damn close. But yeah, Napoli doesn't carry hydroacoustic.
Yeah.
We've been seeing a lot of teams using Napolis on their weak flanks because though it's, say, prolonged DPM and Alpha Strike isn't amazing, Napoli is a very, very tanky cruiser.
Yeah,
its armor layout does encourage it to take a hit.
Grozovoy could actually get, well, you could say lucky, but yeah, he could get a couple of torpedoes in, sink the Napoli, and then kind of put the entire Shaft flank in danger.
Yeah.
He would then have the B open, and Shaft would basically have to pull gearing completely away from the flank. And this Grozovoy has full HP, so if he goes up against gearing, there's a chance gearing won't make it and Grozovoy will stay alive.
Moskva of R2-D2, as we've been talking about this overseas, goes down to the Napoli. Zil's Des Moines put enough fire on him, forced Dude to reverse, and muffled Napoli was able to catch him over the island.
Yeah, he was taking a lot of fire from the front. Shaft so far, amazing display. It's like they knew exactly what OM was gonna do with that gearing double Des Moines on 10 line, and they had a perfect antidote for it, and they knew it would work. I was a little bit skeptical, like you're sending 3 ships into a push like that against 5. Can you really pull this off? And they pulled it off amazingly. Like
absolutely,
I want to see this happen more times. I'm sure we're gonna see it in the future as well. Especially after such a successful display, but I want to see this more often in the future and see if it's gonna work as good as it did, because I honestly didn't expect it to work this good.
I mean, this is the first time I've seen this sort of team setup played like this, with all the ships in the line going up the 10 line, using the island as cover. Granted, they probably got fortunate with their gunnery against the Des Moines as they were running, and the torpedo in C might have made it a bit risky, but now Dodil's Groz has been caught in a pincer. Zil's Des Moines, with nothing to contest him anymore, has just gone forward, moving to threaten the A-cap, and is just going to take this Grozovoy apart. Not a lot any destroyer can do in a close-range fight versus a Des Moines that knows where you are. And down goes the Grozovoy. So Shaft in a completely dominant lead, 500 points ahead, 80 points to go.
This is it. They have taken OM apart, and it is amazing to watch. I have absolutely no bias towards either of these teams, but I am very surprised at how efficiently and effectively Shaft has disposed of OM in this game. And for those interested, Hotspot was actually Shaft's pick. So a very unusual thing happened where a team that picked the map actually won their map pick. Because in King of the Sea, we see it so often. A team picks a map and then they lose on their own pick. Shaft takes this... Shaft takes this map and doesn't lose a single ship in the process. Takes control of most of the caps. Disposes of more than half of the OM team. Very well played. Very well done. I am eager to see if OM can make any sort of a comeback in Game 2, which is going to be Warriors Path, and it's going to be their pick. GG to Shaft in Game 1.